I grew up right around the corner from Ferguson. I went to school in Ferguson. I grew up in Jennings, which is literally a mile from Ferguson. And I went to school. I went to elementary school in Ferguson. I spent a lot of time in Ferguson.
So I grew up in North County, probably about 10 minutes away from Ferguson. I have a grandmother that lives in the Ferguson-Florissant School District, so I was over there a lot. And basically, like for the most part, growing up was, pretty okay. There was police harassment, in the North County area. Also, my father, he was harassed by the police a lot. We lived in a small community. It was probably about 10 houses maybe in the neighborhood, and it was on a cul-de-sac. And every time we would come out of the neighborhood, they would be waiting like at the top of the hill to pull him over. And like I saw that as a child, I didn't really understand it. I was just wondering like, why are we getting pulled over, every time we leave the neighborhood?
Last week and this week, everybody has been indulged in the Michael Brown shooting. Basically, an 18-year-old African-American young man was shot at least 6 times by a Ferguson police officer. What we've been talking about, everybody has been very indulged in this shooting because, for one, we just feel like he was unarmed, and then for 2, what was the reasoning for you taking this young man's life? And if he was doing something that was completely out of order, where you felt like you had to take your gun out of its package, why couldn't you shoot to injure him? Why did you have to take this young man's life?
I first heard about it on Twitter and social media. I was just scrolling on Twitter one day and I started seeing like pictures. The first thing I saw was a picture of his body like lying in the street.
I've been going to the protests actually almost every day, or as much as possible. I'm not happy to be doing it, but I do it with pride, going out there and standing up for my rights and everybody else's rights that look like me. Well, every time I went down there, it was peaceful.
I'm a videographer and photographer, so I think the best thing I can do is capture moments like that to show people like, this isn't a group of violent people, just rioting or, coming together for no reason. We have people here being peaceful.
My friends and I had a bullhorn, and we were walking around the crowd chanting, and when the crowd started dying down or when they started getting quiet, we just went back around like, come on, like we can't get quiet. We can't forget why we're here. Yeah, we see everybody that we know down here for the most part because this is big and we want to socialize, but we can't forget the reason why we're here is because Michael Brown, an 18-year-old unarmed black man, was shot 6 times by the police. We cannot forget that. Really just keeping the crowd where it was supposed to be and just helping to keep everybody's mindset where it should have been. Project Take Back was created to pretty much take back the millennials generation. And what we mean when we say we're taking back is that we're taking back our generation as far as music is concerned, our education, our culture, and just how we live. A lot of times in the media especially, older people are speaking for us and what's important to us in our generation. And so we're just kind of saying, you know what, hey, we got this.
And when she told me about it, I was just like down from the jump. I thought it was a pretty good idea to reach out and connect with people around our age and younger in our generation and give them a voice.
We have about 7 cast members now. And we just sit every week and talk about things that are important to us. So gay marriage, we talk about sex. How should our parents come to us and talk to us about sex? What's the best approach? What are some dating do's and don'ts? How are women portrayed in the media and why is it so negative? And why are there double standards when it comes to women? Just anything that has to do with us, we talk about it.
Basically, the concept of it, like when she told me her idea of it, I instantly saw the vision, like just like that. And I saw the possibilities because there's nothing really out like this right now. I saw the possibilities of us interviewing certain people and bringing this to our generation, so they can understand it. Like, you know, we speak the same language. They might see someone being interviewed on CNN or something like that, but they don't really pay attention to that because they can't really connect with that. But if they see it on our platform, they're hearing it from their peers, and they can understand and connect with it more.
I would like the organization to be way more involved and more of a voice to more, I mean, you know, talking about music, talking about fashion, talking about dating do's and don'ts, those things are not as important to how we live. It's not as important as the politics of the situation. So I think that I want the organization to be, and I think that Jon can agree, that we want it to be more involved in politics and just the human rights. Especially, I mean, for Black people, white people, I mean, no matter what, we want to come in and diversify everything a little bit more and make everything a little bit more fair than it already is. My name is Asha Hornaday, and I am a hate breaker.
My name is Jon Alexander, and I am a hate breaker.